Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's novel Americanah is so much more than a love story. I mean, it is that, but it's also this incredibly sharp and funny guide to the unspoken rules of race, class, and just belonging in the world today. So let's dive in and break down how this one woman's journey gives us all a masterclass in what it means to figure out who you are.
I mean, really think about that question. It's the whole heart of the book. The main character, Ifemelu, grew up in Nigeria, where race just wasn't the defining feature of her life. But then she gets to the United States, and bam, everything changes. She's suddenly forced to see herself through this brand new and pretty intense lens. So this is where her American story begins. Princeton, New Jersey. A place that feels so tidy, so scrubbed clean of any strong identity. And you can see her hope in this quote, right? She's thinking, okay, this is it. This is a blank slate. I can be whoever I want to be here. But as she finds out pretty quick, America doesn't really do blank slates, especially when it comes to race. And that kicks off the first part of her journey. It's this profound and, honestly, totally confusing discovery. She basically has to learn from square one what it means to be Black in America, an identity that was just handed to her the second she got off the plane. Let that sink in for a second. Back home, she was defined by her family, her ethnicity, being Igbo, her sense of humor, what she was studying, a whole person. But in America, all that beautiful complexity gets flattened. Suddenly, the first thing, the most important thing people see is her skin color. Before anything else, she is a Black woman. And this is where we get the fantastic voice of her blog, which is how she starts to process all this craziness. She's talking directly to other people like her, and her advice is blunt. She's basically saying, look, don't fight it. The decision has been made for you. Whatever you were before, that doesn't translate. You're playing by a new set of rules now. So Ifemelu doesn't just sit back and take this new identity. No way. She studies it. She becomes this kind of amateur anthropologist. And her blog, with its amazing title, becomes her field journal for dissecting the weird and wonderful customs of her new country. And to make sense of it all, she comes up with this brilliant theory. America, she decides, isn't a melting pot at all. Nope, it's more like a collection of tribes, and they're often at war with each other. And if you want to survive, you'd better figure out which tribe you're in and what the rules are fast. So you've got class, you've got ideology, and you've got region. Pretty standard stuff. But that fourth tribe, race, she says that's the one that makes Americans the most uncomfortable. Because it's not just a category, it's a ladder, a clear hierarchy. And what's wild is that it's a game where everyone is expected to know the rules, but nobody ever actually tells you what they are. So what are these rules? Well, her blog is full of these hilarious and kind of painful examples. Like learning to do the Black nod, that silent I see you to the other Black person in a mostly white room. She has to learn this whole new language, this performance of Blackness that feels completely foreign to her. But look, this isn't just an academic exercise for Ifemelu. This stuff gets personal really fast, and you see it play out most intensely in the most intimate space there is, her relationships. So first up is Kurt. He's this wealthy, charming white guy who is genuinely in love with her. But he comes from a world where he truly believes that love can fix everything, and that race shouldn't matter. For him, it's this awkward thing that you're just supposed to ignore. And there it is, the heart of their conflict. Ifemelu tries to explain to him, hey, wishing it away doesn't make it go away. It denies her actual real-life experience, because the second they walk out the door, the world reminds them constantly that he's white and she's Black. His colorblindness ends up making him blind to a huge part of her. Now, compare that to her next boyfriend, Blaine. He's a brilliant African-American professor. The conversation about race is totally different, but it's just as complicated. With Kurt, she was basically teaching Racism 101. With Blaine, it's like she's in an advanced graduate seminar, and there's this pressure to have the right opinions, to perform her Blackness in a way that's politically correct. It's a whole different kind of exhausting. And this right here, this observation from Blaine's sister is just perfect. She points out that Ifemelu gets away with her brutally honest blog posts because she's an outsider, a non-American Black. Her commentary is seen as insightful and curious, but if an African-American woman said the exact same things, she'd probably just be dismissed as angry. It's such a sharp look at the different layers of Black identity in America. So after years of this, years of trying to figure out America's racial puzzle, Ifemelu feels this deep pull to go back. Which brings us to our last section, the powerful and maybe impossible dream of returning home. She goes back to Nigeria as a huge success, right? famous blogger, prestigious fellowship, but the home she remembers isn't quite the home she finds. Or maybe the person who left isn't the same person who came back. America has changed her. She gets annoyed by the constant power outages and the relaxed attitude about time, things that were just normal before. In a way, she's become an American. And she finds she's not alone. She finds this whole community of other returnees who she nicknames Nigerpolitans. And they're all stuck in this in-between space, complaining that Lagos isn't like New York, but not being able to fully leave either. And her blog post is a message to them and to herself to just accept home for what it is, this chaotic, beautiful, assorted mix. And really, that's the final question the novel leaves us wrestling with. Americanah seems to say that for so many of us now, identity isn't about one fixed place on a map. It's about learning to live in the spaces in between. It's a messy, ongoing negotiation. What does it even mean to be from somewhere when you've been shaped and changed by everywhere you've been?